12 News at 10 starts now.
And we begin tonight with an Arizona State University student who's recovering after being stabbed several times right on campus. Thank you for being here for 12 News at 10. I'm Troy Hayden. Freeway and Mark are off tonight. The woman who attacked that student was arrested thanks to a classmate who stopped her from running away and held her down until police arrived. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra spoke with that student and joins us live with more. Gabby?
Well, Troy, it was those incredible actions taken by the classmate that possibly saved the student's life. And tonight, that classmate tells me it was just a normal day on campus here at ASU West when the unthinkable happened. Matthew McCormick is a Navy veteran, an Arizona State University student, and now a hero to one Valley family. Do you consider yourself a hero?
No, I just did what needed to be done. And I think everybody has the capacity to be able to do that.
Matthew walked into his microeconomics class at ASU West campus in Glendale last Thursday, and like usual, put his stuff down next to his classmate, Mira Daffron.
She's very vibrant. She's bubbly and energetic, just an overall great person to be around.
That's when, out of the corner of his eye, Matthew saw another classmate identified as 19-year-old Casey Sloan lunge at and stab Mira several times.
I sprung and grabbed her wrist and took her to the ground and immediately disarmed her. And then I just kind of held her there until the authorities arrived.
How did you know exactly how to effectively stop the situation so that you or nobody else would get hurt?
I don't know if anybody really knows that. I kind of attribute it part to instinct, part to training. I'm a Navy veteran.
Court documents obtained by 12 News reveal Sloan admitted to planning the attack the night before. Sloan didn't know anything about Mira except her first name. She allegedly chose to stab Mira because she was an easier target than another classmate.
Really, the whole situation was just despicable. It's predatory to prey upon those who are deemed easier targets. I really have no words.
Mira is recovering after having surgery.
I think this really brought us together.
And Matthew is looking forward to seeing his friend back on campus.
As tragic as the situation was, I am really happy that I was able to intervene and help keep their family whole.
Sloan is facing several charges, including attempted murder. A GoFundMe page was started for Mira's family. You can find a link to that on 12news.com. Live in Glendale, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Such a senseless attack. Thank you, Gabriella. We have an update now on a story we first reported to you yesterday. Liberty Elementary School District saying an 11-year-old girl now could face additional discipline for allegedly punching another student several times. It happened at West Star Elementary School. A spokesperson told 12 News the girl originally got a suspension, and that was enough to reflect the seriousness of the issue. But then they said several parents came forward and informed the district of the girl's previous disciplinary record, and that caused administrators to reopen this case. 12 News contacted the girl's mother. She would not comment, but in a statement, the district superintendent says, in part, quote, "I apologize to our school community that we did not get this right initially. We will work to make sure our discipline record systems are certainly better next time." If you plan on heading out anywhere this weekend, we are tracking some major freeway closures you should know about. Let's start with the West Valley. Eastbound lanes of the Loop 101, this is up in the Northwest Valley, closed between 75th Avenue and 51st Avenue. In the East Valley, westbound I-10 will shut down from the Loop 202 Santan and Chandler all the way to the US 60. And those closures are lasting until Monday morning. You can find the best detours on 12news.com. All right, so you made it to the weekend. But I don't know how much getting out you're going to want to do, because boy, is it going to be hot. Meteorologist Lauren Rainson is here with more record-breaking temperatures for us. Lauren?
Every single day, and these daily records are only going to be a thing through the weekend and even through a good chunk of next week. Those excessive heat warnings have been extended through Tuesday evening with that extended late season heat wave. I know a lot of people have to work outside for a living. If you can help it, you want to avoid the peak afternoon heating hours. And even by 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, you step outside, you feel it. It hits you like a wall. It is very toasty out there, even right now. Those excessive heat warnings are posted now through Tuesday evening. All of these highlighted areas, including Parker to Lake Havasu City. There are going to be locations you pop the 115 mark here over the next few days. Tomorrow in the valley, 109 by lunchtime, 113, and that's early in the afternoon. I'm going to let you know how high these numbers climb in that weekend forecast that's coming up.
All right, Lauren, see you in a few minutes. New at 10, nearly 2 years after 3 GCU students were killed by an accused drunk driver in a terrible wrong-way crash. Their families thought they were finally going to see justice today. The man who pled guilty to killing them was set to be sentenced. But the judge overseeing the case suddenly recused herself. It's not something you see very often at this stage of a trial. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono joins us live in studio. So very unusual. What happened here?
Very unusual, Troy. The courtroom today was filled with family members of the 3 victims, and they flew in for this sentencing hearing from Washington and Hawaii. But the hearing lasted just minutes, and the judge did not explain why she was recusing herself, but she did at a hearing that happened yesterday, and it has to do with the amount of time that wrong-way driver would spend in prison.
Vincent Acosta.
On Friday afternoon, Vincent Acosta appeared in Maricopa County Superior Court on what was supposed to be the day he was sentenced. Last month, he pleaded guilty to 3 counts of second-degree murder because on October 10th, 2022, he drove the wrong way on the I-17 freeway near Table Mesa Road. Court records say he was drunk and he crashed, killing 3 GCU freshmen, the young women on their way to watch the sunrise at the Grand Canyon. Their lives unfairly cut short, and their families have waited since that fateful day for justice to be served. They filled the courtroom Friday, flying in for the sentencing hearing from Hawaii and Washington. But instead, the judge recused herself from the case.
Counsel, this had been the time for sentencing. The court does need to recuse.
In a matter of minutes, the hearing was over.
The court does extend apologies to everyone on both sides who've traveled here today.
No reason was given as to why on Friday, but in a status conference on Thursday, the judge explained.
The issue is that the court, upon reading the pre-sentence report and the attachments, no longer is willing to accept the stipulations in paragraph 2.
Acosta's plea deal included a sentencing range of 18 to 22 years for each count to be served at the same time, a sentence she no longer agreed with.
It's this court's belief it's not a lengthy enough prison sentence.
For now, the plea agreement is still in place, and the case is being transferred to another judge to oversee the sentencing, though it's unclear if that judge will accept the terms of the deal.
Thank you, Judge, for noticing that our girls are worth more than what that plea agreement states.
And during yesterday's hearing, a family member asked the judge what happens if the new judge also rejects the deal. The judge said candidly that remains to be seen. If the new judge doesn't believe that the plea is appropriate, they can reject the deal outright, meaning attorneys can work to put a different plea in place, or there could be no plea and a trial. For now, sentencing has been rescheduled for October 8th. We're live in studio, Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thank you for that. Turn to politics now. Decision 2024. Vice President Kamala Harris here in Arizona today, visiting our southern border, talking about how she would handle immigration policy if she gets the White House this November. 12 News journalist William Pitts spent the day at the border, and he has a full wrap-up of events.
This visit was basically about 3 things: fentanyl, bringing back the bipartisan border bill, and boosting the Border Patrol. Vice President Harris went from the airport here in Douglas straight to the border fence. She met with Border Patrol agents and walked along the U.S.-Mexico border. From there, she headed into Douglas to the port of entry. While she was there, she met with more Border Patrol agents to talk about border enforcement and fentanyl. That was before coming to Cochise College for a campaign rally. And she talked about the bipartisan border bill, which former President Trump was against and helped defeat. She laid the blame for that bill's failure squarely on Trump, trying to reverse his criticism of her on border security.
The American people deserve a president who cares more about border security than playing political games and their personal political future. And as president, I won't only bring back the border security bill that Donald Trump tanked. I will do more. Those who cross our borders unlawfully will be apprehended and removed and barred from re-entering for 5 years.
Harris also highlighted her previous border crime experience as California Attorney General and talked a lot about fentanyl and said she would make it a priority to stop it from coming across the border. She said she wants a troop surge at the border for fentanyl, more training, and more technology like detectors. And with that, she said if elected, she would also press China to crack down on the companies that make the chemicals that make fentanyl. A lot of border policy initiatives in a short speech in a very short amount of time here on the ground. In Douglas, William Pitts, 12 News.
William, thank you. And while the vice president was down at the border today, the former president, Donald Trump, was on the campaign trail. He made multiple stops in Michigan. And at a rally near Grand Rapids, he called out the vice president for not making more visits to the border while she has been vice president.
And I've been saying this from the beginning of the Harris-Biden disaster. It's no longer an administration, because what they've done to our country with this is inexcusable.
So this comes as a new NBC News poll found that 54% of registered voters do believe that former President Trump would do a better job securing the border and controlling immigration, compared with 33% for Kamala Harris. However, 57% thought Harris would be better at treating immigrants humanely, compared to just 29% for Donald Trump. The Latino vote is going to be very crucial to anybody who wins a presidential election here, so 12 News is holding a Spanish language town hall specifically for Latino voters. You can scan the QR code you see there on your screen for more details. There's a lineup of who will be appearing. This is going to happen on Wednesday, October 2nd at CO Greenfield Academy in Phoenix. Still ahead, a look at all